Hello. Today I'm going to talk about the reduce expression in Grafana. If you haven't watched my previous video series called Grafana Graph Rendering, I recommend watching it first. I'll leave links to those videos in the description. In the last two videos of that series, we introduced the concept of expressions in Grafana. An expression creates a new result based on the output of an existing query. Today, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to focus on the reduce expression. Let's start by looking at the graph. As you can see, we have 3 data points with a 10-minute interval between each sample. The query itself is very simple, and it's executed against our SQLite data source. Now let's look at how the data appears in the database. As you can see, we have a single metric called CPU utilization. A new sample is recorded every 10 minutes, and all the data belongs to a single server. So this is a very simple example. The purpose of the reduce expression is to take a time series as its input and return a single numeric value. For example, it can return the last value, the first value, the minimum, the maximum, the average, the sum, or another calculated value, depending on the reduction function that you choose. Let's create a reduce expression. Before we do that, notice that I've renamed the query from a letter to original query. That's the new name of the original query. Now let's create a reduce expression. For the input, we'll select the original query. In the function field, as you can see, there are several available options. We're going to choose the min function. As for the mode field, I don't want to discuss it just yet. We'll cover it in one of the next videos. For now, let's leave it set to strict. I'll also rename the expression to reduce expression. Now watch what happens. I'll refresh the graph, and nothing changes. I want to remind you about my Grafana graph rendering video series. In that series, we saw that when using a resample expression, Grafana creates a new time series, so you actually see a new line on the graph. So what does the reduce expression mean in the context of the graph? As I mentioned earlier, reduce returns a single numeric value rather than a time series. Because of that, there's nothing to plot as a line on the graph. However, let's see how the result appears in the table view. If I switch to the table view, we can see that the original query returns all 3 samples for server 1, which is currently the only server in our database. We can also see that the minimum CPU utilization across those 3 samples is 25. Now let's look at the output of the reduce expression. In the table selector, I'll choose reduce. As you can see, it returns the value 25, which is indeed the minimum value. Seeing the minimum value, or the result of any other reduction function, as a row in the table is nice. But is that the main purpose of the reduce expression? The answer is definitely no. The real power of reduce comes when building alerts in Grafana's alerting system. However, in this video and the next one, I just want to introduce the basic concepts behind the reduce expression. After that, we'll see how to use the reduce expression as part of Grafana alert rules. Thanks for watching.